Welcome to the Sustainable Stories Africa Leadership Series. Today, we are at the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers House, where we will be talking with the first female president of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, Mrs. Fiona Nyako Ahmed Ahimie. Come join us as we go up and speak to Madam President so that she can tell us a bit more about herself. Thank you.
For me, my early life was shaped by the home I come from. I come from a home that you had a lot of people coming in and going out, people from all, status in life, some, needing help, some helping you. So I saw the blend, and that's kind of very early in life told me that there was a need for me to be independent. So I didn't have to be in the category of people that needed help. So that independence kind of drove a lot of the things that I did. And I also didn't want to just be independent. I wanted to be able to also carry on. People can come in and then you can help, empower them and stuff like that. So that mentality was driving quite a number of things that I was doing. So going into primary school was easy, was normal, right? Everybody had, opportunity to go into primary school. But transiting from primary school to secondary school to university were hurdles that I had to, cross. It was as bad as even when I was going into secondary school. After passing all the private school examinations, I like to write exams. I did all the exams you can think of, as a, primary school leaver. When it got to the point of admission, nobody was ready to follow me to go and get an admission or go and check up on the schools to see what the results were. And some of these examinations I traveled for them. It got so bad that when I now had the opportunity of getting into secondary school, it was supposed to be a public school, and for the life of me, I wasn't going to have it. I stayed at home for 1 month, crying, throwing tantrums. I had to go to a better secondary school, but there was no interest. So after throwing out the tantrums and everything, I had to remind myself of the reason why I wanted to go to school. And I carried myself and I went to secondary school, Molly Grammar School. And that journey started. When that one finished, I wanted to go to university. It was another hurdle again. Go and get married. Kuchuan is, university, your mates. But for some reason, I was able to scale that hurdle. I did not have somebody who was mentoring me or guiding me on the things I needed to do to be able to be independent. I had no one. There was nobody I could actually, around me that I could go to say, guide me. There was none at all. So this was me just driving myself. When I finished secondary school, I interned at the airport. And then, of course, when I was in secondary school, I did sciences. And at the tail end during WAEC, during the biology practicals, dissection, I couldn't I couldn't do it. So I knew that part was not for me. You know how everybody, in secondary school, if you're intelligent, everybody wants to go to sciences. So that's how I followed the bandwagon into sciences. However, when we got to the tail end and I couldn't, get to my biology, I want to be a doctor and I can't see blood, So I quickly backtracked. And I think that's something else that also works for me. I know when to step away. I know when to step back. I'm not somebody that is stuck on holding on to things just for the sake of it. So I stepped back. I did my WAEC, my sciences, came out all right. But then during GCE, I kind of added some government courses, commercial courses, and then I was able to get admission into the university to read accounting. When I was interning after my secondary school, somebody mentioned, a senior friend asked about accounting and how I can excel and be a better accountant. And somebody mentioned ICAN, and that's how I started the elementary ICAN. Don't forget, I was a science student, so I really didn't understand accounting. But that background helped me in going into the accounting technicians program for the of ICAN, and by the time I was even graduating, I was already a chartered accountant. So those early decisions helped actually in shaping my career path. This is me, chartered accountant. I have finished ICANN. I'm chartered. I started working. And then I just already mentioned, the CIA, Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers examination. And I like to write exam. I just wanted to be overqualified. I was just getting ready for whatever it is that life would throw at me. So that is how I got into the stockbroking examinations. I'm a chartered accountant. I got my exemptions, and then I started to write the finals. I was supposed to write papers on the final stage, and I failed. I was shocked. Failed. From where? How? It kind of shocked me. Then I was like, no, this exam can't be harder than ICANN. How can I fail the CIS examination when I'm a chartered accountant? It kind of challenged me, and I went back the next day, and here I am, and I got qualified. Immediately I got qualified, I started to practice. I was working in an accounting firm, and the market, this was about 2008-ish. The market hasn't turned yet. It was just at the beginning of market turn. And I told my boss that after my day job of being an accountant, I could actually help him analyze stocks. We can take some positions and make some investments. And that if I made money, he was going to give me something out of it. And he agreed to give me 10% of whatever profits that we made. We did the first month, we made some monies. He gave me about 400K. We did the second one, 600K. We did on the next month, he gave me 600K. And then my boss, in short, the guy felt like this is a small girl. This is too much money for her. And he was like, Fiona, don't worry. I won't be giving you any more every month anymore. I'll give you at the end of the year. So that's how I ventured into stockbroking. It was a setback, failing, that exam at the first try. But I didn't give up, and, the rest, they say, is history. After that, encounter with my boss, moving my compensation to 1 year. At the end of the year, I went to collect an offer form from Lead Capital. I met the MD of Assets Management, and I just randomly asked the guy, his name is Mr. Tosin. I said, Mr. Tosin, I have just finished my CIS examination. I'd like to work in a capital markets firm. I would be happy if you will hire me. I haven't met the guy before. I was just going to pick up something from him, and here I am pitching for a job. He was surprised. I was like, what confidence, for a young girl to just come up and just ask for that. And he said, okay, because you're bold enough to ask me, I'm going to give you that opportunity. And that is how my career in capital market kind of started. So stockbroking is predominantly male. I recall the first time I went to the trading floor as an Ole. An Ole is somebody who is like a trainee, so you have to have a principal who will take you to the floor, introduce you to the people on the floor, you observe what is going on. They will send you to go and buy, cola nuts downstairs, go and buy tom-tom, So when I started my Ole-ship, you get into the floor and you see that it's a lot of men, many men and very few women. And unfortunately for me, my principal's booth was at the entrance. So anybody coming in, you're going to see me the first time. And this very lovely, elderly man. Then he is late now. The first time I got to the floor, he opened the door and he saw me. I'm like, who is this beautiful woman? Ladies and gentlemen, can you see what I see? Then everybody kind of turned back, and I was embarrassed. I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? But that was just the beginning of the fun, because from there on, it was just fun. Yeah, it is male-dominated, but it's still, they're all human beings. So I just looked at it as a career for a human being. Am I qualified to do it? I am qualified. Are they qualified to do it? They are qualified. So I just took it in that stride, and I focused on the things I wanted to achieve. So I didn't have a mindset, oh, this is more male than no male, or this is not female, so you have to step back somewhat. I did not limit myself in any way. The only time I kind of had some difficulties is when I go for meetings, and the meetings were predominantly more older men, in those meetings. So sometimes if I wanted to say something, I'll just keep quiet. Like, where do I want to start from? My elders are speaking, and they're very intelligent people. Stockbrokers are extremely intelligent people. If you see an average stockbroker, they have other professional qualifications. So they are not people that you can just undermine. They are very, very intelligent people. So when conversations come to fore and I want to say something, and an elderly person has spoken, I don't know what else to say. So at the beginning, I'll just step back. But over time, I built confidence. Sometimes if I didn't agree with the things they have said in a meeting, I'd go back to meet them and have a conversation. But if you look at this this way, what do you think? Could it be viewed in a different way? So I kind of started getting closer to the older folk, and that is how the journey was a bit more seamless for me. And also, internet will tell you that, as a woman, you have a time limit or a time slots where you have to clock off, especially when you get home. I never had those kind of limitations, and maybe that was because I had a very understanding husband. I also built a proper structure around my home. So I had people who would help me, do different things, take care of the kids, the kitchen. So whilst I do my normal parental things as a mother, I also had a lot of help. So I didn't have to dwell too much on things I don't have to dwell on. That gave me time such that even if you are calling me at 10 p.m. to say, Fiona, we have a meeting, you will see me there. So I did not put myself into the bucket of male and female. And you see, the men also kind of appreciate that when you have a bit of flexibility as a woman, they understand that the value you bring to the table as a woman is a bit different from theirs. So when they see your flexibility, they keep inviting you to the table. And I think that also kind of worked for me. It got to a point that some people even told like, this one is not a woman, no. This one is just like us. Anything you want to say and do, Fiona is here, she's just one of us. And that was because I did not look at myself doing man versus woman, but I felt everybody is qualified and we all needed to do what we needed to do. I wasn't going to let the barrier of going to take care of family or doing something, block me. Hence the early putting of structures in place to enable me scale up in my career the way I wanted to scale. Thank you. So the CIS is a non-for-profit organization. And I started, my journey with CIS by volunteering. I just wanted to be part of the community to see how we can help build, what we already had. I noticed that the commitment from the young people was really very low when it came to, activities of CIS. And even in general, young people, especially with the introduction of trading online, you don't have to go to the floor to trade. When we have to go to the floor to trade, everybody was there, you could see everybody. But when they introduced remote trading, you saw the young people, start to disappear from the scheme of things. And then the stockbroking, profession seemed to be also gradually, diminishing in some sort of form. I wasn't feeling it the way I felt it when I came in. And I didn't want it to just die off. I didn't want it to just, be, at the, take a back seat in terms of financial services, products or capital market operators. So what I did was volunteer. And what I kept telling people who were asking me, Fiona, why are you putting effort in this thing? See, this is where we are eating from. This is what puts food on our table. We can't allow it to just go off like that. And that's how it started. And even though it was not a paid volunteering, it took a lot of time, from me, but I was very dedicated to it. Like everything else that I do, I just put my all into it. And I recall there was a time I was going for a meeting, and this meeting was being held in VI. And on that Ozumbamba Diwe way, there was a lot of traffic. The meeting was supposed to start at 4. I was in my car, and the traffic was so much. And I looked at it like, if I can continue in my car, I'll be late for the meeting. And I'm somebody who is very, I'm a stickler for time. So I got out from my car, and I started walking. It was a bit of a distance, but I just started walking because I knew that that traffic was not going anywhere. I did not know one of the past presidents had actually seen me walking. He was in the car with some of the staff of the institute. I'm like, is this not Fiona? They said, oh, that's Fiona. But why is she walking? I thought she had a car. So, she has a car. But Fiona, likes to keep to time. So probably she's trying to beat the traffic to get there on time. When the man came to the meeting, he asked me, oh, I saw you walking. Was that you? I said, yes, sir. He said, why? What was the hurry? The meeting? I said, sir, I don't want to get late for the meeting. For him, he saw that as dedication. And from that moment, after that particular event, he came to meet me and was like, young lady, you have so much passion and dedication. Why don't you join the council? And that's how my journey into council started. So for me, it was trying to, come in as a young person and also encourage other young people to take the affairs of the institute more seriously, because we didn't want a situation whereby there's an aging population of professionals, but we can also vitalize it by bringing young people into it. So that's how the journey started. And when I came in, of course, it's also predominantly male. So we have to find a way of bringing our own femininity into the council. And the people in council are so nice and accommodating. They are professionals to the core. So they embraced me. They gave me opportunity to voice, out my views and my opinions. Nobody shuts you down, whether you are male or female. And so that diversity kind of an inclusion helped me to continue with my journey in the council. They didn't discourage me. If they had, I'm sure I would have fallen off somewhere. I would encourage every professional in, of chartered institute of stockbrokers to actually aspire to want to contribute to build, the institute. The institute is the only approved federal government certifying body for operators in the capital markets. You say it's chartered institute of stockbrokers, and that was because in stockbroking, in the past, stockbroking kind of encompassed all the activities of operators, but now there is specialization and people have moved on to do different things. But the institute in 1992, when it was established, was supposed to certify operators in the capital market. As a young person, you have a different view. You are a bit more innovative. You might be more versatile to bring to bear some of, and help, augment what the older, colleagues also have. So it's important that we encourage young people, and I'm really, really encouraging us, let's join in to build our institutes. And the council is, one that opens up and is ready to accept the views of the young. Don't forget that the council already have the very matured professionals. So we coming in, help in, sometimes, they say you miss your blind spot, or you do not, everybody has a blind spot. So you need somebody to help you to point out your blind spot. So what we do, with coming into council is help the more matured, professionals to see some of the blind spots that we want them to see in order to continue to build the institutes that we want. And this exposure and learning from the matured professionals or from my senior colleagues has also shaped the way I think, the way I do some of these things, and some of the things I've imbibed has helped me to attain this level. So to the young professionals out there, and I always like to balance this. It's not about young and old, because everybody brings something to the table. We need each other. We need that blend, to build a formidable institute. For the young women out there, you can do and achieve whatever it is you want to do if you just put your mind to it. you are enough. You just have to be confident. You just have to be able to like speak up. You just have to prepare yourself adequately enough for the opportunities when they come. Because it's only the people who are prepared that when opportunities come, benefit from it. You might have a lot of opportunities, that will jump at you, but if you are not prepared for them, you lose out. So preparedness is very, very, very key. And how do you prepare? You prepare by, getting the right certification, the right qualification, getting the right attitude, getting, the right values, those are the things that will actually help you. Because sometimes they'll tell you that when your face or your outlook will take you to the room. But what keeps you in the room is the value that you add to the room. So I'd want to encourage every one of us to continue to upskill ourselves, continue to keep relevant in the scheme of things, especially, this market is evolving very, very quickly. So let us upskill, let us keep up to the trends, and let us, confidently speak when the opportunities, are presented to us. But let's not be shy. Women, tend to shy away from some of these things. And I did that once. There was a time I was having a conversation with a boss, and he was like, oh, do you know you can assume these positions? I said, I beg. See, I just want to be collecting my salary and be going home. And the guy was like, no. Never you make those kind of comments anymore, because you are such a person that is determined, is destined for great things. So don't limit yourself by wanting to just sit down in a corner. And a lot of us do that as women. So please, let's not be shy. Let's prepare ourselves and be ready. And when the opportunities come, please, let's take it. Let's take it. Nobody will hand it over to you. The Institute has a 5-year strategic plan that's supposed to be expiring in 2030. And for us, we want to continue to build on the foundations that have been laid. So my own specific roles in terms of what part of the strategic agenda I'm going to be focusing on is going to be unveiled at my investiture. So I wouldn't want to let the cats out of the bag at the moment, but we have a strategic plan in place at the Institute that we're actually working on.